Christianity is the world's largest religion, with more than 2.5 billion followers today. But behind this vast faith lies a long history of unity, division, and reform. A history shaped by emperors, councils, and ordinary believers who dared to question authority. To understand how Christianity became what it is today, we need to travel back nearly 2,000 years to the days of the Roman Empire. In its earliest years, Christianity was not the powerful institution we imagine today. It was a small, persecuted movement, seen as dangerous by the Roman authorities. Christians met in secret places, often underground catacombs, to worship. For them, gathering openly could mean arrest, torture, or even execution. Imagine being one of those first believers, whispering prayers in the dark, afraid that soldiers might burst in at any moment. Yet despite persecution, the faith spread quickly, offering hope of salvation and eternal life to the poor, the enslaved, and the powerless. Everything changed in the year 313, when Emperor Constantine issued the Edict of Milan. For the first time, Christianity was made legal across the empire. Suddenly, the persecuted faith became tolerated, even favored by the most powerful man in the world. Churches were built, bishops gained influence, and Christianity grew from a hidden movement to a public institution. But as the faith expanded, disagreements arose. What did it mean to truly follow Christ? Who had the authority to define correct belief? In 325, Constantine called the Council of Nicaea, gathering bishops from across the empire to settle disputes. Here, leaders debated the very nature of Jesus. Was he fully divine, fully human, or both? After heated arguments, the council declared him to be of the same substance as the Father. This decision shaped Christian doctrine for centuries, but it also revealed a deeper truth. Even in its earliest days, Christianity was not immune to division. Fast forward several centuries. By the year 1000, Christianity dominated Europe, but unity was fragile. The church stretched from the cold forests of Scandinavia to the deserts of the Middle East. Yet differences between the Latin-speaking West and the Greek-speaking East grew sharper. They worshipped the same Christ, but practiced their faith in different ways. Western Christians looked to Rome and the Pope as supreme authority, while Eastern Christians followed the Patriarch of Constantinople. Disputes ranged from theology to politics, from the use of bread in the Eucharist to the wording of creeds. By 1054, tensions could no longer be contained. The Pope in Rome and the Patriarch in Constantinople excommunicated each other. This dramatic act split the church in two. The Western branch became the Roman Catholic Church. The Eastern branch became the Eastern Orthodox Church. This event, remembered as the Great Schism, marked one of the most significant turning points in Christian history. From then on, Christianity was no longer a single institution, but a faith divided along cultural and political lines. The Catholic Church in the West grew increasingly powerful. The Pope crowned kings, led armies, and claimed authority over all Christendom. Cathedrals soared across Europe, symbols of the Church's wealth and influence. The Orthodox Church, meanwhile, developed its own traditions, with magnificent liturgies, iconography, and theology rooted in the Byzantine world. For centuries, East and West stood apart, sometimes in cooperation, often in conflict, but the story of division did not end there. In the 1500s, another upheaval shook Christianity to its core, the Protestant Reformation. At the heart of this revolution was a German monk named Martin Luther. In 1517, Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the door of a church in Wittenberg, boldly challenging the authority of the Catholic Church. He condemned the sale of indulgences, promises of forgiveness in exchange for money. To Luther, salvation could not be bought. It was a gift of God's grace, received through faith alone. Luther's words struck a nerve. Ordinary people, frustrated with corruption, embraced his message. And thanks to the printing press, his ideas spread like wildfire across Europe. For the first time in history, ordinary Christians could read pamphlets and sermons for themselves, questioning traditions that had gone unchallenged for centuries. The Catholic hierarchy tried to silence him, but the spark had already become a flame. Soon, entire regions broke away from Rome, embracing new forms of Christianity. Protestantism was born. Different reformers pushed the movement in unique directions. John Calvin in Geneva emphasized God's sovereignty and the idea of predestination. In England, King Henry VIII severed ties with Rome for political reasons, establishing the Church of England. Over time, Anglicans developed their own liturgy and traditions. What began as one monk's protest had exploded into a wide spectrum of Christian practice. The Catholic Church did not remain silent. Through the Counter-Reformation, leaders sought to address corruption while reaffirming core teachings. The Council of Trent met repeatedly between 1545 and 1563, defining Catholic doctrine with renewed clarity. New religious orders, such as the Jesuits, carried the Catholic faith around the globe, from the Americas to Asia. Christianity was no longer only a European story. It was becoming a global one. By the 17th century, Christianity had transformed into a mosaic of traditions. Catholics remained loyal to Rome. Orthodox Christians preserved their Byzantine heritage. Protestants fractured into dozens of denominations, from Lutherans to Calvinists, from Anglicans to Baptists. And over time, new movements would continue to emerge: Methodists, Pentecostals, and countless others. Today, these divisions remain visible. The Roman Catholic Church counts over 1.3 billion members, led by the Pope in the Vatican. The Eastern Orthodox Church, with about 200 million followers, still gathers in ancient cathedrals with golden icons and long liturgies. Protestantism, with nearly 900 million believers, is incredibly diverse, ranging from quiet rural chapels to massive megachurches filled with music and light. And yet, despite their differences, all of these branches share the same roots. They read the Bible. They tell the story of Jesus Christ's life, death, and resurrection. They seek to follow his teachings, even if they interpret them in different ways. Christianity is divided, yes, but it is also united by a shared foundation that has endured for 2,000 years. So, what can we learn from this story? Was the fragmentation of Christianity a tragedy born of human pride and ambition? Or was it an inevitable evolution, shaped by culture, politics, and the search for truth? Perhaps it was both. Perhaps division allowed the faith to take root in new lands, to speak to people in new ways, to survive in times of change. One faith, many traditions, different paths, but the same roots, the teachings of Jesus Christ. And that raises an important question for us today. Will Christianity's future be one of greater unity or deeper division? Maybe the answer does not lie in councils, popes, or reformers. Maybe it lies in the hearts